The Chord Monologue is a monophonic analog synthesizer. It's got a pretty reasonably sized memory and powerful sound sculpting tools. It's got a step sequencer and plenty of MIDI functionality, so as long as you're comfortable with the smaller key sizes, you're going to get a lot out of it. The Potato is a vegetable. As far as synthesis goes, the Potato offers 0 voices and has maybe got 2 or 3 sounds. There's a button on the back that launches a sample as well. You don't get to choose the sample, it's completely random, you just get whatever you're given.
Putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay!
That's unfortunate. But it is true analog, and it could be chips. Now, in terms of musical application, I think it's fair to say that the Monologue might just have the edge, but you've got to consider price. The Monologue retails for around £250, whilst the Potato is less than £1. For me, the Potato is the clear winner. Also, it has a soul.
This has better be the best piece of music I've ever written, I swear to God. This is a really good start. It is wacky. I don't think we need to talk about that. I think that's clearly a masterpiece. Where did I get my obvious knowledge of music theory? Fun story. So this is going back to my early 20s, so 13 years ago when I was at music school. There were a handful of kids that were really good at guitar. I think I was one of them. Basically, you show up on day one, you don't know anyone, they put you in bands, and then you are in that band for the next 2 years, and you do all your coursework together. Really good system, works really well, really smart. So the band I was in, I was one of the 2 guitarists. I was like 20, 21 or something. The other guitarist was 16. And he was the best guitarist in the building. Like, there's just no, in terms of just like ability to play, he was the best guitarist by like a significant margin. And there were some great players, really excellent players. He was the best, and I was in a band with him. So most of the time I ended up obviously playing rhythm guitar. To a 20-year-old, that was a fate worse than death. He was going to be able to get by just shredding the heck out of whatever. He'd be able to get like a passing grade just without really having to try. So I decided to get really, really good at all the theory stuff. I could play better than him because I knew how to use modes. So it wasn't that what I was doing was technically more adept than him, it was that my note choice was just way more engaging and way more interesting. So if you wanted just like a standard rock player, this kid was the guy. Absolutely 100% the guy. If you wanted something slightly more interesting, I was the guy. So technically speaking, wasn't the best player, still not the best player, but I got good at thinking my way into being better at certain things. So I got really good at like kind of chord structure and scales and the modes and all stuff like that. And that was my flex. Oh, and what helped, of course, was this kid lived like nearby. He was like a 20-minute car journey away. So he would just, class would end, he'd hop in the car, home, done. I would travel an hour and a half there and an hour and a half back. I was using that spare 3 hours sat on a train to get smart. I became a big nerd for modes and chord structure and stuff like that. That's my story. That's my story of why I'm a big nerd.
Great Britain needs a new national anthem, something that really resonates with us citizens, something that really tells the world who we are, what we've done, what we're going to do. So this is my pitch for the new national anthem for Great Britain. Here we go. Are you ready? Okay. Sorry. Hi, my name's Liam Taylor, LTGuitarist on most of the platforms. I'm a musician, composer, music educator. If it's music related, I'm probably into it. It's pretty hard to be a musician right now. I mean, it's always been kinda hard, and it's almost not worth making music. Almost. It's not like I can just stop making stuff, and believe me, I've tried that. Ooh. Thankfully, there's Ko-fi. You probably know about all the ways that you can support independent creators like Patreon, OnlyFans, stapling a $5 to pigeons. Platforms like Patreon are amazing if you want to offer something exclusive to your fans every single month, but I don't want people's access to the music I make and the tutorials I make to be limited by their income. I want my stuff to be available for free, but my accountant tells me that that's a really bad business model. And that's why I made this Ko-fi account. If you're lucky enough to have a bit of spare cash floating around and you've enjoyed or made use of anything I've made over the years, you can buy me a coffee, or you can contribute towards new computer hardware, guitar strings, you know, all those things that are necessary to music creation but that aren't free. If you make music professionally or as a hobbyist, I hope you take a moment to check out my YouTube channel or my Twitter account, and if you like what you see there and have the means to do so, I hope you'll consider supporting me on Ko-fi. See you later.
Guess what? I'm poor.
You hear that? It's weird. This is a mandolin. I can't play mandolin. I also can't play slide, and I also am not very good at using the ebow. So what happens if we combine these three things? Oh, I thought there would be a stinger. Ta-da! I'm also I was also half expecting the the audio to be out of sync there, but it appears that we're fine. Gosh, it has been some time, hasn't it? So let's talk about that. What is this stream? Why have I been away? Well, I went away because I was busy. There isn't a fun reason. I was busy. I had work. I had a lot of clients, and now I have slightly less clients. So I thought I would. Well, I've been thinking about coming back and doing more streams for ages, to be honest. But every time I'm like, oh god, that means committing to a schedule and stuff. But I thought, actually, let's just do one. We'll do one, and we'll see how it feels. Number one, and number two, we'll see what's broken. And you know what? Quite a lot of stuff is broken. So I'm going to work on that between probably 2 hours from now and the next time I stream. I'm going to deal with this, and we're going to write more stuff down over the course of the next hour. I think I'll be live for the next hour or so. Well, we'll aim for a bit over an hour. Because I'm trying stuff out, and as you can see, I'm very nearly at capacity. Yes, I don't have a plan. That will become apparent to you very soon. The plan is to be live in the most technical of senses, make some noises. Does the keyboard work? Yes, that's great. That was strange. Anyway, I don't really know where to begin, because it's been so long since I've it's actually been ages since I've started any Cubase projects. I've been releasing a lot of music recently as Blue Alatar. That is where most of my musical energy has been going. And honestly, I should have had some of those music videos in the intro. So that's number 3 on the list. Up to date videos in the intro reel. So let's see if I can remember how to start making music. This is a blank project. It's blank, except for the fact that I've loaded up 2 instances of Contact, and I've done that because Contact takes ages to load. So I thought I would save time, because I've been literally sat here going for the last half an hour. So the one helpful thing I did was load up Contact. Normally, the way that I make music is to write some sort of drum beat and then kind of go from there. And that studio drummer, which is a perfectly adequate drum kit. I'm sure Native Instruments would agree with that. Let's set our tempo. Let's go slightly slower than 100. Yeah, 98 feels good. And we're gonna operate purely on vibes. Let's do something shuffled, because I so rarely shuffle anything. Good God, that's not what I wanted. Swing, there it is. So let's do kick on the 1. Let's do something like this. No. Let's go faster with that. No. Maybe just a teeny tiny bit of swing then. I was really thinking we would do something kind of groovy and shuffly, but it sounds a bit weird. I think it also sounds weird because we've got the emphasis on the offbeats there. So let's fix that. Yeah, that's a bit better. Let's tidy these up, because that's going to really bug me otherwise. Let's go into 16th notes. We're just going to add a little bit of detail from the snare. Let's try that. Let's go boom boom cack, boom boom ca. Yeah. Let's just push that slightly back so it's still kind of swung. How does that sound if we loop it? I'm not really looking to, do anything too crazy for the moment. Yeah, let's do that as like the repeat. Let's have something slightly more normal. Yeah, how does that feel? Yeah. Yeah, that'll do. Let's have a little think about chords. Where do I start with chords? Gosh, it really has been a while since I've, done anything. I mean, I've got just a bunch of instruments in here that I so rarely use. I mean, screw it. Let's go piano colors. I've opened up piano colors a bunch of times and gone, wow, it's broken. That isn't usually what I say when I open up piano colors. What I usually say is, gosh, that's a fun sounding instrument. I wonder what the practical application of it is. Are we good? Hey, that's a fine looking instrument. What a fine and perfectly functional instrument that in no way broke. Okay, let's find popular. Bed of glissandi. What do I want? I suppose part of the problem is I'm not really sure what I want. I mean, that'll do, won't it? That's quite nice. That's like a nice degree of motion. I think if we add something in maybe Pad Shop that's a little plainer, I think that would kind of accompany it in quite a nice way. That is not the plugin I wanted. Pad Shop, okay. So let's find a slightly more normal kind of string synth sound. Ooh. Uh-oh. Right. Hold that thought. I don't really want to have to do that often. Right, okay, that's clearly a problem. I'm going to keep an eye on the audio as best I can. Because I heard that we sort of lost that in the left ear, didn't we? So if that's the tell, I should be able to know when that happens. But that's a problem that I don't know what's causing it. Which is really great. Really, really helpful. What are passionate strings? Yeah, that's quite nice. So I'm screwing around with this. Ooh, that's really nice. What do we call that? It's kind of it's an F sharp sus4 to F sharp. Let's do that. Lovely. I'll just come in here, do it this way. If I press Q a few times to quantize. Make that one shorter. Yeah, we'll boost that a touch. So I think there we want perhaps more continuous noise. So maybe if we just have this F sharp power chord just running continuously instead of having that kind of chord change. So that's nice. The effect is too loud. So I think we'd repeat that a couple times, wouldn't we? And then I don't know what would we have following that. I guess we could go. Don't really know what those chords are, but it's nice. Yeah, I kind of want to do that and then something higher than that. So I'm just going to, again, record these in really quickly. I think we do the same sort of... Yes. That'll do. No. We'll go longer for that. And then I think we would go... I've already forgotten it. What was I doing? What was it going on? Yeah. E? Is it just E? Image. No. sharp. That's quite interesting. I want it to be known, by the way, that I'm not using... Right. That's going to be what we call a priority. That's really annoying. You know, if it keeps happening, we'll wrap this stream up, and I'll have to address that before I actually do this, because I appreciate watching this. That must be really annoying. I want you to understand that I'm not. Something really bugs me about the modern world and people's understanding of how music works, right? Is I really hate those chord pack adverts. You may have seen me in Tangential's video about a certain chord pack company. I really hate the you don't need any music theory attitude, because the thing is, music theory isn't a thing you do or don't have. It's mostly just a set of language to describe what it is you're doing in a musical sense and allowing you to communicate with other musicians. So my view is, if you don't have music theory, you're never going to have an interesting conversation about music. Of course you're not. But music theory isn't this thing that snobs have that is completely inaccessible. Music theory is really, really easy to understand, and it's as simple as, that sounds kind of glum and upsetting, that sounds kind of nice and happy. That's all music theory is. You don't need anything more than that to start writing music, and you definitely don't need to buy chord packs. So I want you to understand that I wasn't thinking in terms of, oh, well, you suss the 2 chord, and that allows you to open up this chord, and then in turn that means that you can play the 5th chord, and it will resolve in a plagal kind of way down to the tonic. I wasn't doing any of that. I was playing chords and I was going, this sounds good, this sounds bad. That's all it is. And now that I've written that, I can use my understanding of music theory to build the song around this thing that I just sort of played. Yeah? So don't worry about music theory. Music theory isn't an unhelpful thing. I'm very angry for someone whose audio connection could be severed at any moment. So, I'm going to do the same thing I did before. This is very annoying, probably. I am just changing this so we only have the power chords, the roots and the fifths, being played, whilst the pad plays the full chord. I think that works. The downside is there's quite a lot of decay. Like when you play a note and then it sort of takes ages to fade away. That's called decay. I'm not really in love with that final chord, but we'll leave it for the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the duration of those notes, of those power chords, quite a lot. Oh, okay, that was interesting. The left cut out, but then we're still 1, 2. Okay. Swear to God. That's cool. Okay. I'm going to have a slightly more simplified drum beat. Well, quite a drastically simplified drum beat. And I'm also going to use use the ride symbol quite a bit. There we go. To do something like this. Oops, come back. Let's do that. How does that sound? Yeah, really not sure about that final chord. So I'm going to look at the chord assistant because I'm a cheat. But first I'm going to color these sections, and this is something I spoke about in a short video I actually put out earlier today. I like to color my sections so I know what's going on. So if I think, oh, I need to add something to each pre-chorus, I know, okay, well, this is the chorus, so the pre-chorus is the bit before that. Easy. So what we're going to do is add a chord track, excuse me. I'm going to drag and drop these in and these in. I suppose I could do those as well. Yes, lovely. Lovely. So, okay, what's really handy is this second little track here where we can see very clearly that this first section is very firmly in F sharp major, which makes sense because we're playing an F sharp major chord. That's frustrating that it's written that way, because we're clearly in, okay, what, you know, I don't care. So we have here, and I'm getting ahead of myself. What I was going to say was, close that. We're very firmly rooted in F sharp there. Here, when we get to these first two chords are still kind of F sharp E, F sharp like. This A flat, it takes us out of our key slightly and puts us in C sharp major rather than F sharp major, just because of the notes involved. But then these, as we can see, we're still in C sharp major here. So these chords are allowed in both F sharp and C sharp, right? The A flat isn't. The A flat sus4 is, but the A flat isn't. My guess is that would usually be... Yeah, that would usually be a minor, I think. And then the E flat, of course, takes us to G harmonic minor, which is an entirely separate key. So I don't mind sort of playing with F sharp versus C sharp. That's a bit of fun to me. I think nodding into G harmonic minor is a bit extreme there. Yeah, no, that doesn't sound really good either. So we have tools available to us. We have the chord pads down here. So let me get rid of my face for a moment. We can tell Cubase that we are in F sharp. Lovely. Oh, and it will play. We have these chords available to us. What I'm also going to do is add in. Up here, I'm gonna get rid of that and that one, and in its place I'm gonna add A flat. Because what's really handy about this tool is that it looks at the notes that you're using and it tells you, okay, based on the notes that you are using, which of the chords nearby are going to sound good and which are going to sound bad, or rather, which are going to sound tense and which are not going to sound too tense. So if I select my tonic here, G flat minor, well, that really should be major, shouldn't it? Major. Well, that was annoying. 1, 2. Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, we're just my interface is doing some weird things. Doesn't fill me with confidence. So we can see that this actually, we can go to all of these chords and it will sound quite nice. This will sound a bit tense, as will this. Oh, quite nice though. So I can also add in these ones. I'm going to go there and there. And then I'm going to look at what chords, according to this, oh, that's interesting. That's really nice. The B is the winner there for me, definitely. So we're just going to drag and drop B, and we're going to make it a bit longer there. I'm actually going to just shove that there so we have some consistency. That sounded really nice. I'm also going to come in here. I'm just going to make sure that these notes are in the same sort of range. Lovely. I'm going to make them slightly shorter as well. We need to do the same here. These need to be B. Lovely. Oh, okay, actually, that makes perfect sense because we're quite close to that. Right, let's repeat all that. Let's just have a little listen. How does that sound? What I'm going to do, in fact, is set up a loop like so. Has it done it again? It has. Okay, what's that? Oh, there we go. 1, 2. Okay. It's really strange, right? Because I just need to restart it. Because it's the only audio device. It's the stereo audio device. I'm in control of all the levels. There's a physical mixing desk down here, analog, and that's just handling a stereo feed. Not very well, is it? Anyway, we were having a listen, weren't we? Yeah, it's all right, isn't it? It's not mind blowing, but it's fine. So sonically, we're missing bass, we're missing melody. Bass is going to be a really easy fix. We're going to go into I was going to do something synthy. No, you know what? Let's not. We'll add a Rickenbacker bass because we're cool. Because we're cool people who play bass. I found it anyway. Where have you gone? 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 There you are. Cool. I quite like that. Dee-doo-dum. Yeah. Have I just got that backwards? Nah, I think I liked that. So I think what I want is ba-da-da. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bam, bam, ba-da. 2, 3. Yes, I had a G sharp for no reason. And then I think I'm just going to go just short, sharp on the beat, like so. Make these ones a bit longer. Here we go. Oh yeah, we'll need to. I'm going to make some of them shorter, some of them longer. Just kind of do it randomly, like that. A little bit just randomly selecting notes. Put some of them slightly off the grid, a little bit shorter, a little bit quieter. Yeah, just like that kind of. Yeah, I think we need to, at the end here, go... I think that just makes sense. Cool. I'm not going to worry too much about that. In fact, I might just make, because that effect's got a long decay on it, I'll make them quite a bit shorter. There we go. That should transition into the next section in a nicer way. I think we need some drum fills. So I'm going to offset the pattern like that. Let's do like a flam. Let's increase the velocity of those cymbals for fun. Yeah. I'm going to put that as the end there, and just do something in the middle here that's just a little more just snare based. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do. Yeah. Likewise here in the boost section. Just a nice simple tom thing. Yeah. That was weird. Oh. Yes. Yes, that makes perfect sense. Let's try that again. Maybe there we just hang on that C sharp instead on the bass. Cool. We need some sort of melody, I think. I kind of suck at melodies. I don't mind admitting to you. It's just not something... I don't know. I think I'm just going to dial some stuff in and not worry too much about it. I think the thing for me is that I I tend to improvise quite a lot, so I'm not as good at writing. It's quite nice, quite abrasive. Yeah, let's just bring it down a little bit. Let's just repeat that. Hey, don't remember turning you off. Strange. I'm starting to wonder if that shouldn't be that difficult. Oh, okay. I tried to turn that on and I pressed the wrong button. Oh, we got a bit loud there. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I pressed the wrong button. That's all that happened. It's getting a bit abrasive sounding. I'm wondering if Pad Shop maybe is a bit out of tune. So I'm just having a look for... No, it doesn't think it is. Alright, whatever. Let's get one that isn't really annoying sounding. I've decided I don't like Retrolog today. That's today's big announcement. The only thing I can think to use is Pippa. I'm really attached to Pippa. Let's give it a try. There we go. Da, 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 da. maybe lower. I think that interrupts the bass, doesn't it? So if we were to do that, it would have to be there. Yeah, the only thing there is that sort of doesn't really stand out because it's quite a gentle sound. The solution there is to turn everything else down, really, isn't it? So I'm just going to nerf everything by 6. That's going to be minus something. I think you could be quite a lot quieter. Bass, we're going to go minus 10. That sounds about right. I'm just going to copy this for the moment. I'm going to go up an octave. I'm going to take these fifths. I'm going to move them along a bar. Yeah. I know. We'll do that each time. Yeah. And then the second time... B to D flat. Oh, that is... Oh, okay. Weird. Let's listen. Oh, we've lost stereo-ness again. Come back. Yeah, it's alright, isn't it? I think we want a slightly different sound. Let's try a different instrument. Good God. Yeah, let's use Harmer. I almost never use Harmer for reasons that I don't know what it is. Let's see if we can reduce the sort of pitchiness of that. I think we want some delay in there as well to sort of complement the effect delay. That's quite nice. Does sound a bit like a ringtone from 10 years ago now, doesn't it? It does sound like something is out of tune. I'm not losing my mind. I'm sure about this. I feel like it might be the bass. Yeah, that sounds better without the pad in terms of pitch, I think. So what I will do is try to find something else. Quiet strings. Oh, that shouldn't just be exclusively right here. Oh, a dodgy cable. That's nice. I think we want less attack, really, don't we? There we go. Hello, Easy Gaming. The 243rd Easy Gaming. We are creating music. This is a test stream. I haven't streamed since November last year, and wanted to make sure that everything worked, and it doesn't, which is really great. So I might not be on for much longer, but if you want to learn how to use Cubase, I'm a certified trainer, and I am aiming to do more streams like this in the future where we make a piece of music from scratch. And we also talk about mixing, music theory, chord theory, instruments, synthesizers, anything music related. So if that sounds good, well, you know what to do. So I think that there is something interesting and pitchy going on with the pad that we had before, isn't there? Which is frustrating because it sounds really nice by itself, but there's just something going on. It might even just be that it's quite a dense sound, so it's not playing with everything else particularly well. We could try and do like some EQing and stuff to see if that fixes it, but ultimately I think actually we're better off going with a different instrument. Let's do a little bit of caretaking in terms of mix and stuff. So something that I always do is, actually it's probably easier to illustrate if I open up the channel settings. always, 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 in any instrument that isn't drums or bass, you want to get rid of any low end that you don't need. So if I play this pad, you can see this little lump here. This is our fundamental frequency. It is the lowest pitch information that this pad is giving us. Now this pad is quite a nice full sound, but the thing is, there's a lot of crap going on in the lower range here that we just don't need. We're just going to get rid of it. So I'm going to look for this EQ. I'm going to try and change the Q here. Oh, there we go. Low sharp 5. Is there not like a... Oh, I'll have to do, I guess. I wish there was a slightly more extreme EQ. Oh, there is. Ah, huh. I've never used that before. That's funny. Can you be slightly more? Okay, whatever. I've never really looked at this window before, but that's basically getting rid of everything lower than 100, which is fine. You know, I'd like to get rid of everything that's sort of rumbling around. I'll do. So what that does is it just creates space, because instruments like kick drums, well, snares as well, kick drums, bass instruments, they need the low end to occupy to sound good, and if other instruments are using up that space, it sounds bad. The free version of Cubase kept asking you for the license key. Where did you get the free version of Cubase? Did it come with like a piece of software or something? Because there are ways to get free versions of Cubase, but you will need to input a license key somewhere in order for it to work, you know. So I'm just going to do the same bit of housekeeping on the other instruments. So we're going to open up this window, and you can see this is a lot higher up. Telegram group. Well, there's your problem. There's your problem. So we can get rid of quite a lot of stuff there, can't we? Could probably just do it with this, couldn't I? Yeah, that had quite a lot of rumble. Yeah, because it's a percussive sounding instrument, so it's going to have a bit of rumble in that low end. But we don't want that. So finally now with the effects piano, I figured that would have quite a lot of stuff going on. And it's also a little harder to predict where the fundamental is, because there's quite a lot of stuff going on, you know? So I think we're going to do something like that. And I might also just, you know, get rid of some of the low stuff in general. Yeah, okay. So that should make everything breathe a little more. Oh, I didn't do it to the out of tune pad. So let's try this with the original pad just to see if that shouldn't have fixed that problem, but it might have. Yeah, I think I'm attached to this one now, you know. I'm going to delete that one. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to wrap up there. I know what the big problem with this this software is. Not this software. I know what the problem with this stream is, and that's the goddamn interface. The audio interface is doing some weird, janky stuff. It's on the list, as are many other things that I'm going to try and fix. I'm going to try and fix those things, and then I'm going to decide how often I want to do streams again. Because I do want to do streams again, and I have the time now. I didn't a year ago, and now I do. So we're going to do something about that. If you have caught this stream and this is the first thing of mine you have seen, what a weird thing to have decided to watch, but whatever. I am on all of the places that one might usually expect to find a person on the internet. My name is Liam. I go by LTGuitarist. I am at LTGuitarist on, oh gosh, YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky, the usual places. I release music as the Musical Endeavour. If you like funk and lo-fi and hip-hop and stuff. If you like cinematic folk rock, I should really decide what I'm calling it. Blue Alatar is the band that you should follow. If you were to go follow LT Guitarist, Focus, there we go. If you were to follow LT Guitarist on any platform, I would be really very grateful indeed. All of my music is on this platform. There we go. I've remembered where it is. Ko-fi. That's quite hard to do. There we go. Ko-fi.com/LTGuitarist. I don't know when I'm doing these streams, but I will post it on all of the places one might usually read things. LTGuitarist.com. If you really don't know what to make of me, I guess. Yeah, all right. What I need to also do is get better at ending streams. So I'm ending the stream now. Thank you. Bye. Okay, that was really funny. For some reason, it just took a beat to actually go. I am really bad at ending streams, though.